You're here listening to the Soul Expansion Podcast because intuitively you know there's more to life. There's something more here. And truthfully, we access that something more in our own bodies, in our own souls. We have all the wisdom we need. And when we can access this within ourselves, business, money, impact, and every area of our life becomes so much more easeful, relaxed, and abundant. My name is Kristen Kosinski, and I'm here as your guide and your host, but this is your journey, so let the journey begin. Hello! Oh my goodness, I was so nervous before going live this morning, which is funny because I've gone live many, many times. But I've been opening up my heart space more and more and more and more, and just getting more vulnerable with myself and with my audience, with my clients, with my partner, and the vulnerability is so real. And it made me nervous this morning to go live, even though I've gone live a million times. I'm here with my puppy Leo, and I called this live Channeled Money Truths. And it's also free coaching. So if you're here live and you have questions about manifestation, money mindset, anything like that, drop them in the comments while I'm speaking and I will get to them, later on in this live. So money mindset, manifestation, business, money energetics, business mindset, any of that stuff, is available for free coaching here on this live. So here we are. I don't know if you can tell I'm nervous. It's like I'm not usually nervous before things like this, but like I said, that vulnerability piece is coming through a lot more. So this morning I was sitting with myself, and I'm here in my New York apartment, and we are about to move to Miami, but they already picked up all of our furniture. So I have nothing here to occupy my time other than myself and my dogs. So I've been meditating a lot, and I've been journaling a lot, and I've just been feeling into the types of things I want to bring through in my business and my brand and my content more and more. And this morning I really wanted to connect with the clients that are going to join Expansion Mastermind. This is a container that I'm most excited to host because we do the deeper work. We go deep. We work through a lot of the blocks and a lot of the limitations that we come up against in business and with money. And we open you up to your infinity. We open you up to more ease. We open you up to more of a flow of receiving with money, clients, all the things. So it's my favorite container. I do love to work with people intimately. And this morning I was asking myself, okay, what do I want to say directly to those people who are meant to be in this container? And I was meditating, and it came through loud and clear, as these things tend to do when we're spiritually connected. And it was, if I can get you to love yourself, then the money part is easy. So I'm going to say that again. If I can get you to love yourself, then the money part is easy. And this sounds too simplistic, right? Especially if you've been working on your money mindset, or, you've been working through different things in business to strategically attract more money and clients. It can feel well, that's kind of a silly thing to focus on, loving yourself. I need a new lead generation strategy, or I need to tweak my marketing, right? The algorithm's changing yet again. But what I found in studying my own behavior and the behavior of money with respect to me is money is truly a mirror for how we feel about ourselves with respect to money. Right? So if you look at your money right now, your bank account, your credit card statements, whatever you have in your financial portfolio, if you look at your money right now, if you look at your business right now, and in your heart, in your being, you feel not enough, the energy of your money, of your business, of everything in your financial portfolio feels like a big fat not enough. That's just a mirror for what you're feeling internally about business, about money, about these external things, right? And so when we can actually understand that on such a deep level, then it's we get our power back. Then we realize, ooh, okay, I didn't make as much money this month. what was I feeling internally that made me feel like I couldn't make more money, right? Like, what was my not enough story happening last month? And if you go deep, if you sit with yourself, I promise you will find that there's something there where either you were dishonoring your own boundaries, or you were trying to control a situation because deep down you didn't feel good enough, or you were trying to micromanage things like your thoughts, right? Like, even with manifestation, if we know the manifestation process, even with that process of like thinking thoughts of what you want to manifest, right? Like, what would you be thinking if it was already here? What would you be feeling if it was already here now? How would you be being if you already had the money now? So even if you're doing those things from an energy of I'm not good enough, then you're still going to manifest the I'm not good enough result. So if we really like peel away all the layers of what matters and what doesn't matter, at the end of the day, it's what you feel internally about yourself. If you feel not good enough, the money will be not good enough. If you feel not good enough, the business will be not good enough. And it's really scary because a lot of us feel not good enough, right? Like, let's just be real, especially in the online space, before we've hit an income that we've decided is like, quote unquote, making it, that we've decided will make us worthy, that we've decided will prove to us that we are good at business, before we hit whatever that arbitrary milestone is that your brain concocted up one day. It's really hard to feel good enough in the now, but that's truly all that's required to start to shift into this more of a flow with money. So again, if you have questions, if you're wanting support on something with business, money, mindset, manifestation, drop those in the comments while I'm here. And so when I really connected into this message of if I can get you to love yourself, then the money part is easy, it made so much sense, because when I study my own behavior and the behavior of money responding to me, because that's all it is, right? Like, money is only responding to you. Money is only responding to your internal state. So if your internal state, like the general flavor of your energy is, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, then the money is going to respond with not enough, not enough, not enough. And if the internal state is, I'm good enough, I'm good enough, I'm good enough, then the money is going to respond with, oh, this is good enough, this is good enough, this is good enough. And then if the internal state is, I'm amazing, I am so good, I am overflowing with love and joy and gratitude, then the money is going to respond with overflowing with more than enough, right? Like, for me, overflow is feeling so good about myself and so good about what I'm here to share on this live or on any piece of content, that it's all coming from my heart, right? There's no calculation up in the mind. How can I get a client to sign up via this live broadcast? Like, of course I care about clients signing up, but when I'm truly in a state of overflow, there's no calculation in the mind. There's no strategy in the mind. It's all coming directly from here. It's all coming directly from the heart. And why is that for me what overflow feels like? Well, because if it's coming from the heart, then it's pure giving, right? It's giving purely from the heart. There's no attachment. There's no micromanaging. There's no controlling the situation. It's like, here, this is what I have to give, and I'm giving from overflow, right? I'm giving from this state of believing and knowing and trusting that I am good enough. Whereas when we come up from the mind and when we give from the mind and we're giving from the state of how do I get 5 clients to sign up, or how do I get this launch to work, or how do I make $10,000 this month? When we give from the mind so strategically, then there's all this pressure to it. And if you actually play with it and you feel into it, then you'll start to notice that when you are so strategic coming from the mind, the energy of the content you're putting out there feels more like pressury, right? Like, I look back at some of my old content where I was very strategic and I'm like, wow, this is like a lot of pressure as I read this. Like, I wouldn't want to join this program based on this post because of how much pressure is coming from this post. And everything is energy, right? Like, everything is energy, energy is everything, energy is everything, right? So if the energy behind what you're putting out there into the world is coming from this, I'm not good enough, therefore I need this strategy to prove that I'm good enough, then the energy behind that content is still not enough, which means the result from that content is not enough in terms of your money, in terms of the clients that are going to sign up. And so if I can get you to love yourself, then the money part is easy, right? Because when we love ourselves, which is a really hard fucking journey, let's be real, like we've been through some shit, we've been through some trauma, we've had relationships that taught us so deeply that we were not good enough. I know for me in particular, I had a relationship where it was codependent and there was gaslighting. So I actually had an aspect of my unconscious mind that was created by someone else, right? Like I thought I was going crazy. So I had this aspect of my unconscious mind that was so deeply ingrained and so deeply unconscious. And she felt so deeply worthless because that's what this abusive relationship had taught her, right? So even if your relationship history is not that traumatic, let's say you got dumped one time, right? Like I think we've all been dumped at one time or another. So if you got dumped one time, then there may be this aspect of you deeply unconscious that feels really unworthy because she was rejected or he or they were rejected, right? And so getting to this place of loving ourselves is a process, it's a journey. And for a lot of us, it takes some healing work, right? It's not something we can instantly shift into. But this is the only thing that matters when it comes to money mindset. This is the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter how much you learn about the energetics of money or how much strategy you're able to implement into your business. If you're coming from the energy of I'm not good enough, you will continue to see the result of you are not good enough, right? We create, unconsciously, we create what we feel internally. So feeling internally that you are good enough is the only thing that really matters when it comes to money. And it's scary and it's hard and it's unconscious and there's parts of us that really reject it, right? It's been a journey for me for sure. And it's something I'm constantly shifting back into because it doesn't feel normal, right? It's a new state for me to truly feel good enough and to truly feel like I am enough. But when I study this process, when I study my own behavior and the behavior of money, it's a perfect mirror. When I feel good enough, I make more money. When I feel worthless, I make less money. It doesn't matter what I'm doing with my content. It doesn't matter how much I'm posting or how little I'm posting. It doesn't matter if I'm on vacation or if I'm in my empty apartment with no furniture. If I feel worthless, I will produce worthless results. If I feel empowered, if I feel good enough, if I feel like I have so much to give from my heart that I can't stay quiet, I have to share this with my community so they can learn something from it, then I receive more money. And it's so perfect. Like the alignment is so perfect that it's undeniable for me, right? It's undeniable that if we can learn to love ourselves so deeply that we do feel good enough, then the money will be easy. Because a lot of the things we're taught with money mindset, and again, free coaching. If you have questions, please drop them in the comments while I'm speaking here. But a lot of the things that we're taught when it comes to money mindset is like just decide or feel the feelings of having it now, or what would you be doing if it was already yours? And then when you come from the strategy lens in business, it's like speak to your ideal client's pain points, speak to their pleasure points. Talk about the benefits, not the features, right? Like the basic like strategy and manifestation things that we're taught all fucking work, by the way, right? They all fucking work if you feel good enough. Everything works if you feel good enough. Everything produces results that feel not good enough if you feel not good enough. Because the entire world, your audience, clients, money, everything is just responding to you and how you feel about you. Everything you see is just a mirror for how you feel about yourself. And so don't take that as something that's scary, but take that as something that's empowering and like a big fucking hint as to where maybe your money blocks are, right? Like I know for me, for a long time, I was manifesting money outside of business so easily. It was ridiculous. Like I was making tons of money outside of business, and it took me a long time to calibrate that energy in business. And part of that was because outside of business, it wasn't associated with my identity. And there was a deep part of my identity. It's not there anymore. I was able to integrate it. But for a long time, there was a deep part of my identity that believed that if it comes from abuse. So if I wasn't being controlled, then I had to be perfect to prove that I was worthy of being loved, right? It's kind of a convoluted pattern, but that's the pattern that this part of my identity was in. And so my business if my business was not controlling me, right? Like if I felt like I was in a really good place, in a flow with business, then the pattern would come in and be like, well, now I have to make things even more perfect to prove that I am worthy of money, I am worthy of clients, I'm worthy of love, right? And it all comes back to that. We are all trying to receive love in some way if we feel not good enough. So we have these patterns that were developed from these harmful relationships, or even like I said, if you were ever dumped in your life, right? Like it doesn't have to be abuse. If you were ever dumped in your life and an identity was formed that I'm not good enough because I was dumped, I was rejected, and these are the reasons why I'm not good enough. And if that identity is still there and you're still operating in that in business and with money, then you're going to continue to see those not good enough results with business and with money. And so when I look at my whole money mindset journey, it all came back to, can I feel good enough now? And it's before the money comes, right? And maybe we have money on recurring revenue. Maybe we have money already coming in. Maybe we made money today, right? But can you still feel good enough now? Can you feel good enough now? And if the answer is no, that's the work, right? Because for me, for a long time, the answer was no. The answer was, oh, I need to make more to feel good enough. Or I need to achieve something to feel good enough. Or I need to prove that I know the most about a certain topic and then I will feel good enough. And so when we're in that state of needing something outside of us to feel internally good enough, then we're in this constant push-pull with money. We're in this constant chase with money and clients. And the energy behind everything we do is coming from this not good enough energy. And so I'm going to bring it back to my channeled truth that came through this morning. If I can get you to love yourself, the money part is easy. If I can get you to love yourself as you are right now at 10:02 Eastern AM time zone, I said that out of order, but you know what I mean. If I can get you to love yourself right now, then the money part is easy. And so that's what I'm guiding people toward in Expansion Mastermind. So if you have been landing with some of the things I'm sharing, then I would love for you to join the mastermind. But even if you don't feel like joining the mastermind, if you have questions or thoughts or limiting beliefs or obstacles that have been coming up for you when it comes to business and money, let me know in the comments live or send me a DM if you're watching the replay. It's the least sexy truth. It's the least sexy truth that self-love is the path to money, right? We always want something other than self-love. And that comes from our wounding, right? That comes from this egocentric world where we're rejected or we're taught we're too much or we're not enough or whatever it is. And, for some of us, we've had highly traumatic experiences, but even if you haven't, if you've had any sort of emotional experience ever in your life, which we all have, then we have these little aspects, these little parts of ourselves that don't feel good enough. And it's not about, I want to be clear here, it's not about being perfectly healed, right? It's not about healing every part of yourself. It's not about reprogramming every limiting belief. That's not it at all. It's about getting to this state where every day, and for me, it's a journey every morning. It's a journey every morning, at least right now. I'm sure over time it will be more embodied, right? But for me, my goal every morning is get to this place where I feel good enough as is, and where I can hold that while I show up for my business. If I'm coming from an energy of not good enough, and I show up for my business from this energy of not good enough, because maybe I'm seeking validation, maybe I'm desiring to prove something to the world, to my parents, to my in-laws, right? Like we always want to prove something in business. Maybe I'm trying to achieve my next income goal, whatever it is. Like if I'm coming from the state of like, I am lacking something, therefore I need to show up so I can get something. You follow the pattern there? I am lacking something, so I'm going to show up for my business so I can get something. Well, then it's going to be the energy of lack, like peppered throughout my business, my money, my life. So if I get myself to this place every day where I feel good enough as is at 10:04 a.m. Eastern time zone, and I know that nothing in my business is going to make me feel good enough, because that's what we often think unconsciously. We think, when I get the 20K month, then I'll feel good enough. When I get the bougie apartment, then I'll feel good enough. When I have 10,000 followers, then I'll feel qualified and worthy of making more money, right? Whatever the story is. But the truth is, we have to feel good enough now. That's the only way to expand your money, to expand your business sustainably. We have to feel good enough now. If we feel good enough now, everything else we do is like turbocharged with abundance energy. The energy is super clean. Everything we give in terms of our content coming from our heart is coming from this really clean energy. And maybe you can feel it here, right? Like, I did a lot of work this morning to get into my heart, and I feel vulnerable right now, 100%. And I was nervous when I started this live broadcast, but because I'm coming from my heart, the energy probably feels really clean right now. It probably feels like there's no pressure. It probably feels like we're just hanging out, having a conversation. That's what we're doing right now, right? So when you're able to get to this state of knowing you're good enough now, and there's nothing to prove, there's nothing to achieve, you're not lacking anything inside of your own body, inside of your own heart. When you know you're not lacking anything inside of your own body and inside of your own heart, the natural result is you are abundance embodied. You are love embodied. That is the natural outcome of feeling deeply in your being that you are good enough. And then when you feel deeply in your being that you're good enough and you're naturally in the state of abundance now everything you do is coming from abundance. Everything you do is coming from love. Everything you do is turbocharged with this abundance energy, right? And so I'm going to say it again for the people that are just hopping on. If I can get you to love yourself, the money part is easy. It is. Because when you love yourself, you know that nothing in your being is lacking. Nothing in your being is not good enough. Nothing in your being needs perfecting or improvement. Nothing in your being needs to learn more things before she can be good enough, right? Let's get rid of all that bullshit. Let's realize that right now you are a divine being in a human body, right? Like right now you have a message to share. Right now you have the biggest heart, and maybe there's wounding, maybe there's armoring around your heart, maybe you've disconnected from your heart. And I've been there, right? And it's a journey to open up the heart. But it's okay, right? Your heart is still there. Your heart never went anywhere. So you are this powerful being who has this powerful heart, who can connect to other people's hearts. When you're able to connect to your own heart, you get to connect to other people's hearts on a much deeper level. And then it's like there's no pressure, there's no lack, there's no scarcity, there's no proving, there's no achieving, there's no doing to receive, there's no suffering to receive. There's only pure giving from your heart and pure receiving from money, clients, audience engagement, etc. Clean energy, clean results. And how do you get there? You feel good enough now. And it's hard, right? When the energy is clean, there is no block to money, there is no block to clients. And I notice it now that I'm aware of it for myself, I notice it when I look around the industry. I can see the people who are connected to their heart and who are sharing their truth from their heart. I can see it so clearly, and you can feel it, right? And then I can also see when people are coming from one of their wounded parts, and it's not good or bad, it's just a thing, right? It's a thing that we get to be aware of, and then we, if we're noticing not good enough patterns in our money and in our business, then the work is to shift into what I'm talking about, right? Feeling good enough now. So it's not good or bad to come from this energy, but I can see it online when people are coming from this energy of like, I don't feel good enough yet. And I'm tired of seeing it. Not that they're wrong or bad. I'm like, I want to help people stop feeling that way. Right? Like we all deserve to feel good enough being here on our online platform. We all deserve to feel worthy of money. We all deserve to feel good enough for clients to come to us. We all deserve to feel good enough in this moment now, not before, not after the money comes, not after the next client comes in, right? And so that's what we're going to do in Expansion Mastermind. And some of you may feel called to join, some of you won't, and that's okay, right? But I encourage you, if you're landing with the things I'm sharing, get in the group. Let's work through some of these things that are holding you back. A lot of it is going to come into the heart space, and it's kind of scary when you have been disconnected from your heart for a long time, or when you've had some deep relationship bullshit, right? Or trauma, in my case. A lot of times it doesn't feel safe to come to our heart space, and that's why it feels like a lot of us have a wall up when we're in the online space. That's why it can feel sometimes like you're not connecting with your audience, because you're not connected with yourself. And it hurts, right? It hurts to be disconnected, but we don't know it hurts. All we know is the money's not there. All we know is that our audience isn't paying attention. All we know is that we feel like we're missing something. Here's what you're missing: your own damn heart. Here's what you're missing: your own internal feeling of worthiness. Here's what you're missing: your connection to your divine, heart-driven mission, right? Like, for me, it feels undeniable to not share this thing. This is like not English, but what I'm trying to say is I would be doing a disservice to myself and the entire collective if I didn't come on here and talk about my own feelings of not being good enough, and how shifting into feeling good enough now has changed everything for me. Like, I can't not share this. It's so deeply connected into my own story and into my own heart that it's a natural outpouring of my journey, right? That's what a heart-driven mission is. That's what creating a bigger movement is all about, right? And Expansion Mastermind, I tell my clients, we want to be creating this bigger movement so you don't have to do all the work yourself, right? Like a movement, think of a movement for a second. It's like a domino effect or a ripple effect. You start the movement, but then the people that are in your energy, your immediate energy, start to ripple out and grow that movement for you, right? So when we're connected to a bigger movement, which comes from our heart, when we're connected to a bigger movement, it's natural to make more money. It's natural to attract more clients. It's natural to work less and make more, because you're starting the movement, but you don't have to carry the entire thing, right? And a lot of us in business, we start out by carrying the entire thing all by ourselves, even if we have a team, right? I carried my business by myself for like 2 years, and for a year and a half of that, I had a team. So I was carrying my business and micromanaging it and holding it and believing that it was all up to me. And you can maybe even feel like the activation happening in my heart. Didn't feel good to be in that state. But now I'm letting something bigger, this bigger movement that I'm being called to share, carry me. So now I know I don't have to make all the money. The movement is helping me make the money, right? There's this circulation of money, of the movement, of the mission that is coming from my heart. And so the growth and expansion of my business is natural. It's not forced. It's not something I have to effort through. It's not something I have to strategize to create. It's so natural. It's like the movement of the ocean. The ocean never stops. The movement never stops when you're connected to the movement, and the movement comes from your heart. So that's what I have.
Thank you for listening to the show today. Thank you for being a loyal listener. If you've listened more than once, I really appreciate your time, your focus, your energy, and your attention. And so it is my heartfelt request that if you got something out of this episode, please write us a review, rate us, tell us exactly what you want to say, speak from the heart, speak from your soul. No review is too short or too long or anything that's too much or not good enough. It's all good. It's all good. We really love and appreciate your feedback. It just helps us make the show better and better, and it helps us get the show out to more people. As a reward for your time and energy writing a review, just take a screenshot of it before you hit submit and email it to us at support@KristenKaczynski.com, and we will give you free access to my Work Less, Make More, The Vibe Masterclass and Integration Deepening Call. This is over 3 hours of content that was recorded in 2022, early 2022. On my website, I currently charge money for it. I don't remember what we priced it at, but it's not currently for free anywhere else unless you write a podcast review, screenshot that review, and send us an email. So the email address is support@KristenKaczynski.com. I would love to gift you this free gift for your time and energy being a listener and writing a review. So if you have a few moments right now, I would really appreciate your words, your feedback, your shares, and your love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. I so appreciate you. And I'll talk to you soon.